What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about Lucid, I want to go over some of the current data points, what is really driving Lucid higher, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, Lucid is up 4.99%. So recovering from its sell-off yesterday, which I know I did a video yesterday kind of breaking that down. And it wasn't all that bad. I think it overall was very healthy for the stock. There was going to be a certain level of profit taking, and just the broader market was somewhat pulling back. So I think all in all, it was somewhat justified. But at the same time today, and I think going forward, there's been now this high expectation for rate cuts. And so that in turn is really fueling Lucid and having a lot of people talking on the next big rotation. And I'm going to break it down on what I mean by that. Starting off, retail sales did come out today better than anticipated. So on a month-over-month basis, it came in flat versus a forecast, which was negative 0.3%. So that's very good stuff. And the market is back to being normal. So good data causes the market to go higher. So I think at this stage in the game, it is fair to assume that September 18th, there is going to be a rate cut. 93.3% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. And this has actually gone up slightly, 62.1% for the following meeting on November 7th for another 25 basis point cut, which is going to be huge for the market. But because of this back-to-back optimism, this is where now you're having people talking on this big rotation. And for those of you that have been in the market for several years now, more specifically 2020, you'll know what I'm talking about. So as you can kind of see, this is money markets. So a lot of people like to analyze, including myself, where money is kind of being placed and whatever else. Right now, it's kind of at all-time high record numbers, almost around $6 trillion sitting in money markets. So bigger entities were kind of anticipating a pullback. That didn't necessarily come. And so a lot of people are starting to say, well, you know what? A big rotation is going to come, where a lot of people, especially with rate cuts occurring possibly as early as September, this is where money from here will be moving into equities, similar to what happened in 2020 and leading into 2021. And for those of you that, like I said, have been in the market for a while, you'll know that 2021 was fucking epic. My apologies on the French, but yeah, there's a lot of upside, because when there's a lot of kind of an increase in capital getting into either a specific stock or just the whole market, stocks just go up like crazy. So in essence, yeah, things are going to get very, very real. So yeah, I think definitely that is where a lot of discount plays such as Lucid and many others are starting to stand out. There hasn't been all that much in news, no SEC filings, nothing like that. Lucid did a couple posts on social media, but nothing really to buy based on that information alone. So like I said, I think it's just piggybacking off of the broader market. Shorts though are very adamant that Lucid isn't justified to be green today, because they're increasing 521,000 shares, 27.68% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 245.12 million shares, utilization 89.94, and then short score is 93.85. So that's gone down slightly. Through IBKR, it does indicate around 450,000 shares is available to be shorted at a price of roughly around 20.03 to be specific. So I think definitely, given the market, if it does continue on how it is, and if Lucid does have some pretty kick-ass earnings during their Q2, which also on a side note, the Q&A that retail can pose does open up on July the 22nd, I believe. So I'm going to be hounding you guys every single day, giving you guys updates and making sure we have the most the best questions possible. And because typically the questions that are always asked are kind of the ones submitted on the first day. So again, very, very, very important for that. So yeah, this is kind of an update on shorts. So in my opinion, if this big rotation does happen, then there will be a squeeze, no doubtably, as a byproduct of that. Looking at options, 1.04 million in calls, 698,000 in puts. Sentiment wise, 52% of all the options being done are optimistic and bullish, but no doubtably a lot of that is linked to shorts just hedging. just in case Lucid does go up. Right now, based on this, of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above $4. And then on the put side, more so sub $3.50. So somewhat evenly divided based on the risk versus reward. As of right now, Lucid is kind of flirting between this or at this pivot point right now. So with it at $3.78, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So 357 is going to be the strong support, and then 380 is going to be that next strong resistance. But again, it's kind of flirting with that. So if it is able to close above that, then it'll be 403. But regardless, just take note of some of the strong support and resistance points depending on what does happen. But on the chart itself, it is higher percentile of the Bollinger Band. Stochastic, you do see a minor bearish deviation, so red line above the white, and you do see number of retail investors getting in. So all in all, I think pretty optimistic data given how much Lucid has gone up over this last little bit. So over the last 5 days, up 16.64%, and over the last 1 month, up 45.86%. So I feel like with this recent run, it did really reinvigorate a lot of buyers or just investors that have been in Lucid for a while, being patient, very, very patient. And this is, again, the first time in almost like 2 years that Lucid has really shown that it's alive. And so I think this is key, and the market is ready for a very nice kind of upward trajectory, and largely because of interest rates. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with Lucid? As of late, there hasn't been all that much for new analyst ratings, nothing along those lines. So I'll give you guys a quick overview of that. So this is the Elliott Wave Technicals. So it does have this. So the SEC rule 201 is still kind of triggered. I did bring this up yesterday, so it is in effect up until 7 p.m. tonight. But still, that only is really beneficial if Lucid is selling off. So today isn't really going to be that big of a deal. Looking right now, though, no new analyst ratings. So that last one was done 4 days ago. So hopefully with their Q2 earnings, you're going to see a lot of good bullish ratings, because as of late, they haven't been all that great. As a consensus of all the ratings, though, there is roughly around 12.81% downside anticipated. So I don't know, it just really sucks in that regard. But I think bigger picture, this is where Lucid is going to do a lot of good things. Just looking at the latest round of 13Fs, you do see a lot more institutions buying. So over this last little bit, some of the latest ones are right down here. So institutions, as of the end of June, so you do see JP Morgan increasing a small amount. You also see State Street increasing. BlackRock did return a small amount right there, but that's that specific fund right there. But yeah, I think generally speaking, institutions have been taking and did take advantage during Q2 to buy the dip with Lucid, and those that did are pretty lucky. And based on the volume that's been happening, what I'll do is I'll quickly pop back over here. And based on this, you do see a lot of transactions yesterday. Today, not so much, only 2 transactions on the secondary market above $100,000. But regardless, I think the broader market is going to really propel Lucid higher. So let me know your thoughts if you did buy the dip yesterday, or did you sell? Did you do options? There's been a lot of options activity as well. So have you been doing that? So yeah, with all that though, I appreciate all of you watching. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.